Sony has just officially launched the new Sony Xperia 1 Mark VII. This is the new flagship of the brand. So join me to know its specifications, as something interesting here is that Sony is reusing the brands that already have a lot of popularity of its portfolio. For example, in advertising, reads powered by Alpha, implying that they have all the technology of their cameras, also powered by Walkman to imply that all the technology of their audio players as well will be applied here, and finally powered by Bravia to ensure that all the technology of their televisions is included. So it's an interesting proposition. The device features a 65-inch Full HD LTPO OLED display with a 120 Hz refresh rate. Naturally, the display will be finely tuned in terms of colors and details. The device appears to have a simple back cover, somewhat reminiscent of Samsung's recent designs at this case with a black, green and pink color scheme. It comes with a thickness of 8.2 mm and weighs 197 g. This device still integrates the IP68 level of resistance against water and dust and comes protected with Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and Gorilla Glass Victus on the back, and will also have stereo sound, in addition to the 3.5mm jack that comes to surprise for a high-end device. In this case, reminiscent of course Walkman, to give an experience of. The sound is much better than other devices. Sony claims a 10% boost in bass and mid-range, promising a compelling experience. The front camera is 32 megapixels, and the back has a 48 megapixel main camera with aperture f1.9 and autofocus. The ultra-wide-angle camera is also 48 megapixels with aperture f2.2. The telephoto camera is quite intriguing because it features a 12 megapixel sensor, which means it doesn't include a high-resolution sensor. However, it is a variable telephoto ranging from 85 to 170 mm. I find it particularly interesting how Sony stands out as the only manufacturer in the current high-end market that employs this type of variable optical zoom technology. It's quite curious that other manufacturers haven't implemented it yet, and even more intriguing is that the camera module doesn't protrude as much as many others currently do. Chinese manufacturers. Sony is showing promising recovery signs, but its distribution is mostly limited to Japan and a few countries. It would be great to see Sony strong globally, as this device is promising and interesting. It features the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage. Its battery has a capacity of 5000 mAh and supports charging via power delivery. Interestingly, the manufacturer does not specifically detail what is the maximum power it supports, which in a way could tell us that it will support a not-so-fast charge, maybe 25, 30 or maximum 45 watts, but do not expect an exaggerated charge in this sense. The device also integrates the in-display fingerprint reader, and something very interesting is that it comes with Android 15 and the promise of 4 years of software updates, 6 years of security patches, which is not the most advanced in the industry, but it's a good time to keep the device running smoothly. Even more interesting is the introduction of Xperia Intelligence, a new suite of artificial intelligence options that Sony wanted to focus more on the camera. So, for example, we will find a self-framing function. That is, if you are recording a horizontal video with your mobile phone, it will have the capability to provide you with a video in portrait format even if the subject is moving. This is incredibly beneficial for content creation in today's world. We have observed this feature before in Honor, but undoubtedly with Sony and their advanced camera technologies, we can expect to experience superior definition. It is mentioned that the horizontal video will be available in 4K resolution, and the auto-framing video will be in Full HD. However, the quality remains quite good, particularly for vertical social networking platforms. This device has been announced in Europe at a price of €1,499,